Happy Friday, my loves. I'm on my deep house wave again. It's kind of like a Friday vibe, I guess. Hello. We have quite a few new faces in the break room. And if you're new here, just joining us, watching the replay, this is a community. There is conversation and there is communication. This is not a one-sided thing. So give me a shout and let me know in the comments where you're listening from, what you dressed up for Halloween, and what the fuck is up? Like, what are you up to? What are you working on? I just prepared this lesson because I've been thinking about what I wish I would have known when hiring my coach. So my first coach, to be exact. I've had several coaches now, and I was doing some journaling and some reflecting on what I wish I would have known back in the day. So it is Friday, which means that today is the very last day to apply to work with me in the private setting of my 8-week private coaching program. This program is all about how to begin attracting high-end clients so you can stop chasing them and burning out and maxing out your income. You can increase your impact and your income by really being yourself, showing up authentically, and creating super awesome content with a strategy that's easy, fun, and doable. And the doors to apply to that program close tonight. I just added a bonus yesterday where you get a $300 value ticket to join me at the Intentional Entrepreneur Live event that's hosted by Sabrina Phillip. If you guys don't know who she is, she's like a huge leader in the coaching industry. She's coached people like, what's her name? Isabella Silvio. Isabella Guava, she goes by on the gram. Jamie King, the Slay Coach, big leaders. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for coming in. Today we're talking about hiring my first coach, what I wish I would have known then. I'm letting everyone know that the doors to work with me privately close tonight. So this is the deadline. This is it, you guys. And I opened up 3 spots. 2 of them have filled, so this is the last spot that's available. And I will not be taking any stragglers because I need to know who's willing to do the fucking work, go the distance, and show up for themselves on time. So no procrastination this time, you guys. Now, let's go ahead and dive into what I wish I would have known when hiring my first coach. I wanted to share this story with you guys first. So before I was signing 12K contracts for my implementation services, I had the same, just like you guys, $200, $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 contracts. I even did freemium services. And when I say freemium, that means like I did high level shit for free in exchange for testimonials and videos and referrals and connections and stuff like that. And the reason why is because I am not above the fucking work, and neither are you. So many of us get caught into our dreams and our ambition and our drive, and we hear this all the time. You deserve it. You are worthy. And yes, those things are true, but at the end of the day, you can do all of the woo, but if you're not doing the fucking work, then it's not going to happen for you. If you're not showing up consistently, if you're not getting better at writing your copy and speaking to your ideal client and understanding what the fuck she really needs from you, it's just not going to happen. And I had to learn that lesson the hard way, which is why I was in a place where I was doing like consistent $6,000 months, 6 months into me starting my first business. After my layoff as an executive assistant, I was fucking killing it. But financially, I was like waking up every morning with like massive panic attacks and anxiety, feeling like I had something or someone like sitting on my chest from the pressure. I had a roster of clients that were not aligned with my long-term goals. I was like working with people who were doing construction services and doing bookkeeping, and that wasn't even it's not even close to my zone of genius. It's not my zone of excellence, and it's certainly not my zone of genius. So I was making great money, but I was not aligned with my like core values of who I am and operating from the place of my soul. And I hear so many people say, Jessa, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything that I know to do. And when we really dig down deep into that, That's not the truth. And the people that are saying that are not being honest with themselves, because when you dig a little deeper, you may feel like you're doing everything because you're overwhelmed and burnt out and stressed out all the time. But really, the energy that should be delegated into your strategy and your visibility and all of the things that really matter for your business are being delegated into things that really don't fucking matter. And I know that's not the easiest thing to hear, because it certainly was not the case for me. Now, there are no shortcuts, you guys. The internet will have you fooled into thinking that you can pop your business into a fucking microwave and it'll come out hot and ready to make you a millionaire. It simply does not work that way. And the process looks different for everyone, but everyone has their own process. Now, you can't shortcut it, but you can fast track it. And in order to fast track it, you must learn from people who have done it. You must have guidance from people who you respect, and be accountable to someone or multiple people who you respect and that will hold you accountable and is unafraid to call you out on your BS, period. Because one of the biggest things that I wish I would have known when hiring my coach was that although she had done what I wanted to do and was doing what I wanted to do, making the money I wanted to make, showing up how I wanted to show up, energetically speaking, she was not able to really call me on my bullshit like I need to be called on my bullshit. And if you're anything like me, you need to be called out on a regular basis, because you are somebody who will do the work. You'll go the distance. But there are these little things and these little tweaks that you slack off, or you get fearful about, or you get hesitant about. And I was that person, and I needed somebody to say, like my personal trainer, Brian, he's an ex-con, and I love him because he pushes me like no other. And when people ask me, who's the best coach you've ever had? Truly, it's my personal trainer, Brian. When I'm working out and I'm starting to slack, he says something to me that I use with the women that I have worked with one-on-one. And he says, get what you came for. Like, you show up, you're here to work, so do the fucking work. Get what you came for. He's like, you don't go to the grocery store and you don't walk out with no groceries. So when you show up, you are expected to do the work. So don't go and show up and not do the work. It doesn't make any sense. And that is a lot of times the reason why, like, people, for example, okay, you'll be posting on Instagram. So you'll say something to the effect of like, I'm posting, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but like, you didn't actually really take time to dig into your post copy and think to yourself, like, take a pause and think, like, is this something that really is going to resonate and serve my ideal client at the highest level? Will it? Will it do that? And if the answer is no, then you need to do the fucking work. Go into it a little bit deeper. Maybe switch up your hashtags, enhance the pictures, use a better picture with a better angle. Do the fucking work. Just because you're posting, just because you're showing up, doesn't mean that you're showing up in the way that's going to resonate and attract those ideal clients that pay you, like we've been talking about all week and for the last month. Now, the truth about my one-on-one coaching program is this: I'm not going to tell you how. I am not going to tell you how. And I'm not going to hand you a step-by-step instruction manual in order to tell you how to do it, how I did it. Because in order for you to become the six-figure CEO that you want to be, with the freedom and the time flexibility and the clients and the respect and the industry leadership and all of the things, I cannot hold your hand to get there. You have to learn how to take responsibility. This was hard for me. Take responsibility for every single fucking thing in your life and business that you are not happy about. This is a practice. When I use the word practice, because it's not something that it's not a switch that just, no, I take responsibility for everything. I still have to practice this to this day, because it's easy to be like, oh, well, my coach didn't push me hard enough. Or my partner or my son, I need to spend more time with my son or this client or whatever the case may be. It's easy for you to look around you instead of look within you and really get responsible and take responsibility for yourself. And you also need to learn, if you are truly going to become a six-figure CEO, a seven-figure CEO, whatever the next level looks like for you, if you're going to be that person, you have to learn to trust your fucking self like no other. Because when you begin to trust yourself is when your creative process blooms, when your strategic solution process blooms. If you have a coach that you're so dependent on and you lean on so heavily, you're not running your business, you're running hers. If it's all her idea and her strategy and all of that is her stuff, you're not running your business, you're running her business. So in order to run your own ship and drive your own vehicle forward, you have to learn how to trust your fucking self. Now, the doors are closing to this 8-week one-on-one program. It is short, it is sweet, it is high intensity, and it is extremely intimate. It is me and you working one-on-one. You get a 90-minute power session where we go through your whole strategy and map it out together, co-create that shit together over the course of 90 minutes. Then we also, during that time, plug it into Trello, Dipsado, whatever application that you prefer, because you guys know I wasn't going to leave you without any systems for this shit, right? Right. So 90-minute power session, plug that shit into Trello or whatever software that you want. Then you also get the bi-weekly coaching calls, and those are all about the accountability, the mindset, and the strategy, and keeping you accountable and on track for all of those things. Because as you level up, as you grow, as things develop, as your businesses scale, you're going to get scared. You're going to get nervous. Things aren't going to go the way you planned. Things are going to go off track. And it's important that you have a regular set accountability to stay focused and stay on track. Okay? Now, bi-weekly coaching calls. Also, in between those calls, when you're having a day where you're like, I'm feeling scared shitless, things aren't going as planned, I need extra support, you have Monday through Thursday unlimited Voxer access with me so that you can send me a message of your wins, send me a message of what's not working. Maybe you need some feedback on something, or you want to send me a picture of whatever the case may be. You can do that Monday through Thursday, unlimited Voxer. It's like a walkie-talkie for those of you that are new to the industry and don't know what Voxer is. It's a free app on your phone, and it's literally like you can use it like a walkie-talkie and send little voice notes, but you can also message me on there, and you have unlimited access to do that Monday through Friday. And that's always helpful, like I said, because in between those calls, you're going to need support. Now, on a weekly basis, I will be reviewing your copy and your content as well to make sure that it is speaking to the right people and is just as badass as you are. So one of the hardest things for me was learning how to write copy in a way that resonated with the right people. I was making all this content, writing all this copy, but it wasn't exactly attracting the right people. So in order to make sure your shit is shining like it needs to, I'm going to be looking over it on a weekly basis to make sure it's fucking awesome. In addition to all of that, you get personalized access to the copy templates and also the journal prompts that I use to keep my mind, soul, and spirit aligned with my launches, with my offers, with my services, and keep me on track as I level up. So this is not only just about the strategy, having a powerful, simple, but doable strategy, but also the soul and mindset work to go along with that. And of course, naturally, I'm going to make sure you're provided with the right systems on all fronts in order to get you where you need to be. So the reason several of you have looked at the application, but only a small handful have applied. And I'm grateful for that, because the reason that I made a very extensive application was because, like I said at the beginning, I need to know who is willing to do the fucking work and who's ready to go the distance. Like, who is willing to really, again, trust themselves and be honest about where they're at and where they want to be. Because if you don't have those two things, you don't have clarity around those two things, this is not the program for you, period. Now, I just added that $300 bonus where you get a ticket to the Intentional Entrepreneur Live, hosted by Sabrina Phillip, the Queen Bee. She was a multi-millionaire by the age of 24. And she's coached some of the best leaders in this industry, like Jamie King, the Slay coach, Isabella Guava, all of those women. Like, that's her little cohort. And you and I will meet there at the event in Orlando that's happening this month. So you get a free ticket. In addition to working with me one-on-one, you also get a free ticket. There is one spot left. I will drop the link to this program in the comments below. So those of you who have been on the fence and have questions, go ahead and you can DM me, you can message me, you can drop them in the comments, but fill out your application before 11 p.m. Eastern time tonight, because the doors are closing, and I am not allowing any stragglers into this program. Because again, it's high intensity, it's very intimate, and it's a short and sweet results-driven program. So stragglers are not a good fit for this program. I'm somebody who procrastinates to the last minute. I don't care if you submit the application at 11 or 10:59 p.m. Eastern time. But if it's in at 11:01 p.m. Eastern time, sorry, you missed the boat, sissy. Okay, now, one of the things that several of you have asked about, like the women who have applied and have come in to the program already, are asking, like, is this right for me? Am I ready for this? Is this the right time? Will this work for me? And I can't, every single person that is watching this video, I can't answer that for you. Because like I said the other day, all of us can do this shit, but only a few of us will. And again, it's only for those of us who are willing to do the work and to go the distance, to trust themselves and be honest with ourselves and listen, truly listen to ourselves, our mentors, and our community, right? So when you apply to work with me, when you set that application, I'm not just going to leave you hanging and then send you an agreement and be like, yes, you're in. I really want to know where it is you're at and where you want to go. Like I said earlier, so behind the application, I have a 20-minute clarity call. So you and I can sit down and figure out exactly where you're at and where you want to be. And together we can figure out what your next step should be, whether or not that's to work with me. If I know somebody in I have a very big, powerful network. If I have somebody that I know within my heart can serve you better, I will connect you with them and I will direct you in their direction. But this is not about whether or not you work with me or whatever the case may be. This is literally about figuring out what your next step should be, whether or not we work together. So behind that application, you automatically get a link to schedule with me, and we'll figure that out together. You don't have to go at this alone. So many of us, and I was the same way, I'm like, oh, I can figure this out by myself. I can go the distance. I'll just keep trucking along. And you certainly can do this alone. But I'm telling you, from the other side of this, when you have the right support system, the right mentor, and you have that accountability and somebody who's going to call you out on your shit, I'm telling you, it fast tracks your success like no other. It was one of the scariest leaps and biggest investments I've ever made in my fucking life. Like I said earlier, I was making like $2,400 a month when my coach was like, yeah, so my fee is $9,000. And I was like, fuck, no fucking way. But what I ended up doing was I said yes to myself, and the rest I had to figure out. I sold like a bunch of furniture, a bunch of clothes, a bunch of electronics. I got super resourceful, and I made it happen for myself because I knew I had exhausted all of the options of going at it alone. And I was tired of burning out. I was tired of being unavailable to my son. And I was tired of not stepping into my own power because I knew it was there and I was being called higher and pushed higher. So if that resonates with you and you're in the same spot and you're feeling that way and you're like, I don't know how to get to the next level. I know I have it in me, but I think I need that push. I need that accountability. This may be that program for you. Again, I'm going to drop the link in the comment. Doors close at 11 p.m. I love each of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and take from it what you will, whether or not you end up hiring me as your coach or you go to find another coach to work with or you end up working with someone else. I want you to know this. Find someone whose energy you want to be around. Find someone who you deeply respect that's going to call you on your shit when you need it. Because that is what I didn't have when I hired my very first coach. I've worked with several since then. But when I hired my first coach, She wasn't able to push me or talk to me or encourage me, and she didn't have the type of energy. She was all strategy. This is not, my program is not that. It's very much strategy and soul, strategy and mindset, with a little bit of systems mixed in there too, of course. Okay? I love each of you. You know questions. I have an open door policy. I love you. Happy Friday. And my last person who joins this program, this bonus is going to be so fun. We're going to have so much fun in Orlando together. There's going to be a champagne garden party. Yes, ma'am. Okay, love you guys. I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.